Hey, Saturday, December 14th, day number 20, MoVE Fitness Challenge, moving along. So today on the 14th, we are going to take 7 traditional exercises and we are going to tweak them. A tweak is just a very small or slight change to an exercise. It's a variation that's going to just change our response and what we get out of that exercise just a little bit. Well, we're going to take traditional exercises and that you've done very often and have probably done since grade school and have been around forever. We're going to take those exercises and we're going to apply 2 tweaks to all 7. So we're going to start off with a jumping jack. Number 2, we got an upright row, we've got a jump rope, curl. We're going to do something a little bit different. Most people are familiar with a plank. We're going to use something called on-ground function, and I'll describe that. A med ball slam, and then finally we'll use the good old-fashioned bench press, and we'll change that up a little bit. And so here we go. 14 different variations of 7 traditional exercises. So the first one we're going to look at is jumping jack. So the jumping jack traditionally, we all know, is right here. Okay? So I'm going to change that up now. My feet, instead of going side to side and my hands coming overhead side to side, we're going to move front and back. So the first one now is I'm going to move my feet front to back in kind of that same direction. And I'm going to take my hands front to back as well. Still a jumping jack, okay? But now just changing up our feet in our feet position. So the second tweak or variation to the traditional jumping jack would now be more with rotation. So I'm going to take my feet, and I'm going to make it easy on this one, is we're going to take our feet and we're going to keep them together. Okay, and you can kind of see my hands start to move opposite. So those are 2 variations to a traditional jumping jack. Next one, upright row. Most of us know, have done an upright row in the gym, maybe on a bar or with dumbbells, and we'll row straight up. So our variation is going to throw a little bit more rotation into it. So we'll use 2 dumbbells or power blocks right here. Now instead of just going straight up, I'm going to create a little bit of a hip turn and rotation with my row. And so another variation to that, 1 dumbbell. Little reach across, pulling up. Again, upright row, we're just going to add a little bit more rotation. Jump rope. We've all jumped rope for years, been around for a long time. So how, besides changing up our footwork, can we change this exercise? Well, I'm going to try to move. So I'll move with the jump rope. So moving front to back, I can change up body position and move left to right. So moving with jump rope gives a little bit of a challenge, a little bit harder. Curls. We've all done curls. Pick up a couple dumbbells, curl. Well, now we're going to change our wrist position and our curl position to the outside. So I'm going to open up my wrist and I'm going to curl up to the side. So there's a new position, and my next one is going to be kind of a cross in an uppercut. Reaching over to my opposite shoulder. So we have side curls and we have crossover or uppercut curls instead of our traditional curl. Moving on. Most people are familiar with a plank where we're stationary. Either elbows or hands. I'm not the biggest fan of a plank for several reasons, but we're not going to get into that today. My variation of that plank would be to put a little bit more motion in. So we're going to use motion with the hands and motion with the back with the legs. So what that's going to kind of look like is I'm here, and instead of just holding stationary, which probably isn't true to function, we're going to start to move a little bit with our arms. And we're going to drive opposite as I'm reaching. And I'll change kind of positions. And I can even throw in rotation. So, we have arms moving in our plank position. But we can also go with our legs. So, I'll use my leg as a driver in some different directions. Slams. A slam is, when some of us know, a little bit newer exercise but gained a lot of popularity. Take a ball up, slam it down. We're going to change our traditional slam into going from side, and we'll go with a little bit of rotation. So I'll load up one side of my body, slam it down. Load it from here on my other side. So now where I'm loading from and unloading changes. We're going to go with rotation. So, change my body position. I'll kind of rotate a little bit, and I'm going to throw over my shoulder. I'll throw over my opposite shoulder. So, rotational slams going over the shoulder. Finally, our last 7th exercise and 2 tweaks here. Think of us 13 and 14. The good old bench press. Everybody loves bench press. And I think some traditional bench press is fine. This, we're not going to load up tremendously. But to give a little bit of different reaction throughout the body, we're going to change up our hand position. So, first one is we'll go with a little wider press than normal. And again, I don't have very big weights here. So I'm just going to gain a little bit of mobility as I'm doing this. So I'll position my hands neutrally, and I'll kind of press a little wider. I'll bring them in, and I'll go narrow. Next one is I'm going to rotate my wrists externally and internally, and you'll be able to see how the power blocks here move. So external rotation and internal rotation. There you go. 7 exercises, traditional exercises, with some functional tweaks to give us 14 different. So there's your challenge, is to try all those out. You might want to try 7 reps of each. You might want to do a couple rounds of each to give us that number 14 again. Good luck.